Wow.
Hey guys, so we're Plan C. We're gonna try to go live on our little cell phone here because the internet went down. So we'll wait just a second before everyone logs on. We doesn't look like anyone.
There's not a single person. Come on, peeps.
It's delayed.
Oh, okay. One. Yay!
We got one person. What's their name?
One person. I don't know. How do we see? I don't know how we see their names.
Okay, we got 3 people.
Okay, Rosie. And it's a certain kind of picture.
This is a really washed out
picture. I
but
know. It's a weird picture. We look like cartoons.
Okay, guys, so guess what? This is
Turn it sideways.
I can't. On
Oh,
Facebook,
you can't
it has
turn
to
it
be.
Sideways?
Yeah, so
Okay.
just so you guys know, this is Plan B
and C.
So we're basically going to do the show
Like
off
this.
Off this. So
Okay.
yeah, we got questions.
What do I have? YouTube?
You have YouTube. I have Facebook.
Okay, guys. So we have some questions that we noted down from you from before. So we're going to take some of these. So Scott on YouTube says, oh, Steve's doing something.
That's right.
Here.
We got it.
That's okay. So Scott from YouTube asked, will nutritional yeast break his fast?
Okay, a lot of people want to know, can supplements break the fast? Any supplements? The answer is no, unless the supplement is pure sugar. So no, none of the supplements are going to break the fast. I wouldn't worry about it at all. There's just not enough calories. Now, yeah, so that's...
Okay. Okay, good. What about the trace minerals? Can I give it to a 5-year-old?
Absolutely. If it's... Yeah, the trace minerals that I have is plant-based. So yes, you can give it to a 5-year-old.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now on YouTube, I think the name is Owly, said that their vitamin A is high. Why would that be and what can they do about it?
Well, are they eating a lot of... Now the question is, sometimes when you're eating a lot of carrot juice and things like that, you might have high vitamin A, in which case that's why. And it's really beta-carotene, which is a precursor. And that's why you might turn yellow, something like that, or orange. But here's what you do. That's more of a liver thing. I would look at the liver, the gallbladder, because the liver tends to kind of deal with the fat-soluble vitamins. So you may find that you need some help with your gallbladder or your liver. That's what I would do if I were you.
Okay, good. And then I had another YouTube one, and that we had trouble with Facebook initially, and then in the reboot, we had general web trouble. So most of these are from YouTube. YouTube Margaret says, can an adult who vomits a lot be lacking acid? They're having some trouble sorting out what's happening with the vomiting.
Yeah, one of the things with vomiting and diarrhea, those two, you lose a lot of electrolytes and you also lose acid. So the pH starts becoming more alkaline. So you get what's called alkalosis. And alkalosis, you're going to have problems with all sorts of things: mineral absorption, absorption of breaking down proteins, heart arrhythmias because you need the electrolytes. So there's going to be a problem with calcium, potassium, magnesium, sodium, chlorides. So yes, that's a big, big problem. So anytime you have diarrhea or vomiting, you need to replace the lactic acid. And you can replace it with kombucha tea, maybe some apple cider vinegar, maybe the pickle juice would be good. But yeah, so that's a big problem, especially for people that have chronic diarrhea or chronic vomiting. Even like bulimics, they have a lot of problems with their electrolytes, a lot of problems with gallbladder, things like that. So yeah, good question. Yeah, unfortunately,
my arm is breaking holding this
Karen,
up.
this is a test of. And then Steve, if you could,
thank
Steve,
you,
if you
Steve.
could adjust the lights because I'm blown out on.
We are
on Facebook.
This is a good time.
Okay.
Okay, good. So, okay. So someone is here. This lighting is horrible.
Hello, is that better?
No.
There's a lighting. There's this one. This is the one that we need to adjust.
Welcome to our world. This is what it's like in studio before we hit the switch.
A little more.
It's just constant.
A little more, Steve.
Okay, anyway. So there was someone, I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but she is saying that it's her first week on keto and she's getting a lot of headaches.
Yeah, here's the thing. when you convert over to ketones, running your body on ketones, if you're deficient in any type of nutrient, especially the B vitamins or even salts, or maybe potassium with electrolytes, that's when you start noticing the symptoms. If you take sea salt, oh, that's good, Steve. Take sea salt, electrolyte, and B vitamins, you shouldn't have any transitional symptoms, whether it's headaches. Headaches usually come from low sodium. So salt is very, very important when you're doing keto. A lot of people are trying to reduce the salt. Really what you need to do is increase the salt and potassium, those two things right there, because they both work together. And that's why you want to do vegetables, Karen, for the potassium and the magnesium.
Good. So I love this question. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, and I'm afraid to adjust anything here, but someone wants to know what food is good for hair growth. I like this question because people so often are like, what supplement can I take? What can I take? What can I take?
Let's assume that you're doing healthy keto and you're IF, okay? And you have hair loss. That could be from too many refined carbs, which spike insulin, which then increases androgens, which burn out the hair, especially if you're getting receding hair up here.
I'm not gonna lie, you just lost me.
With what?
There was too many
androgens. Okay.
words.
So there's a male hormone called androgens, and that's what's behind hair loss.
Okay.
Okay. And so what you want to do is you want to get rid of the triggers to that, and it's usually going to be a problem with high levels of insulin from carbs. So we want to reduce the carbs, get in healthy keto. That should help your hair.
Right. What if they're in keto?
What if
They're
they go on
doing
keto and they lose it?
And they lose hair, right?
It's usually going to be a problem with the cofactors, the things, the helpers for protein metabolism, which is either going to be the B vitamins, okay, or it's going to be minerals, trace minerals. And again, like if you just do what I said, like do trace minerals and then you do B vitamins, boom, you're not going to have the hair loss.
Boom.
So you need, there's like, for example, zinc. Zinc
humor.
is really important. There's a lot of minerals involved in protein metabolism.
Heading your way.
Like you need, for example, potassium, sodium, iodine, a lot of minerals for protein metabolism and also protein breakdown. Also the ability to form acid, hydrochloric acid in your stomach. So without acid, you're going to eventually get heartburn because of the compensation, because the valve on the stomach. I want to talk about what? What?
I asked what food is good for hair loss, and
Okay,
like 10
transitioned
minutes
over.
later, this is called a segue.
Dave Feldman is watching. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave, how's it going?
So,
This is random day, but I had another question.
okay.
Okay, so someone wanted to know about, okay, we got the hair loss sorted out. Now, what about I'm on keto and I have constipation?
Well,
It's a very important question.
it really relates to it's either going to be you're consuming too many vegetables that you're not used to and you don't have the microbes to break down some of these fibers. Okay, that's going to be one reason. Or you're doing too much protein and your system is kind of bogged down from that. Or it could be actually too much dairy. That's very constipating. You need potassium to help the bowels work. You need B1 to help the bowels. So there's a lot of you guys are asking specific questions on how do you fix this symptom or this or that. A lot of these problems are going to be resolved, Karen, if you just get into the basic, correct, healthy keto and intermittent fasting. If you do that, you probably won't have a lot of these symptoms. It kind of boils down to that one implementation. So that's why I always revert to, are you doing healthy keto and intermittent fasting? And usually they're not doing it correctly, and so then they have a symptom.
Right. So we assume that when people ask these questions that they're already doing healthy keto per all Dr. Berg's videos and intermittent fasting. So
Correct.
Yeah. So if you're not already doing that, there are a lot of videos on drberg.com how to get started if you're new. There's also thousands and thousands of videos on YouTube, how to get started. Also, you know, if we do have web connections and you do have questions that don't get answered, go to YouTube, Dr. Berg, and then put your subject in. And there's so many videos there to help you out.
There's apparently right now, it's kind of like a, I don't know how you'd call this. It is a kind of a wild, wild west when you get into keto, versions of keto diets. There's so many different versions, and let's just talk about that, right, Karen? Because I have a version that I call healthy keto, which basically is a combination of things and very high quality ingredients. But there's another version out there that people, and I'm not going to mention the name, but I'm just going to tell you what it is. It's low carb, and that's why it works. So that's good, low carb, but they're actually doing also low fat, and they're doing higher protein, and they're doing 5 to 6 meals a day. And the quality of protein you're using is prepackaged protein powders. Now the problem with that is you are going to get results, at least initially, but you're going to end up looking older. You're going to end up with dry hair, you know, older skin, because you don't have the fats. People still have this idea, this fat phobia, that you can't eat fats, and so you're going to create problems. Let's say you're vegan and you want to do keto. Well, you can do it, but you also have to figure out what you're going to do for omega-3 fatty acids, because usually the omega-3 fatty acids, I'm talking about DHA and EPA, come from seafood and salmon and cod liver oil, right? But if you don't know that you can get those from microalgae or algae, then you might not get those essential fats. So you might have problems with cognitive problems, depression, mood issues, focus problems, things like that. So there is a way to do it, but you just have to have the data. This is why I recommend follow someone that has at least a good amount of success stories and success with this and experience. And I'm not being biased for myself, but I think
I'll be biased for himself.
but we do have something that really works. I mean, take a look just at, I mean, I know some people don't really look at success stories, but we have a lot. I mean, I'm talking massive amounts. So these people, it's legitimate, it really works. Then you get the other people who are really emphasizing, well, it's not backed up by science, right? Or whatever. I want to just touch on that 1 second, Karen,
Okay.
because it,
Better you than me.
yeah, you guys realize that minimally there's over 173 drugs that were approved by science for years. And I'm talking some of these drugs for 30, 40, even up to 55 years before they found it was very, very dangerous. So there's a tremendous amount of corruption in this area of
Studies.
science and industry funding studies. I will be doing a video on the science of science, or the studies of studies, which I'll be researching the research, and then you'll be able to see some interesting correlations. You know, if you buy a product even on Amazon, you're going to look at the reviews and see what people are saying. That has some weight. So I'm going to recommend you follow my version of keto right now. That's all I'm saying. Okay, and then that's all I'm going to say. All
Okay,
right, what do we got?
so the next one is, there's somebody here, Devinder, I think his name is. He's dizzy all the time. Please help.
Yeah, a couple of things for dizziness, especially if you're doing keto, is you need more salt, sea salt, and more fluids. What happens when you're on keto, you're no longer retaining the fluid as much. So you're going to get rid of a lot of fluid. You might end up with low blood pressure, and with the fluid becomes loss of electrolytes, and you might get dizzy from that. So start consuming more and more sea salt with water. The other thing I want to mention with the adrenals, if you have adrenal fatigue or you have adrenal burnout and your cortisol actually is low, not high, but low, you could be losing a lot of sodium. And this is one of the conditions, advanced conditions, called Addison's disease, where your adrenals are just shot, where if you don't consume enough salt, you can die. So you just lose so much salt. So with adrenals are really good for salt is really good for the adrenals. So you want to beef up on the salt, no pun intended, Karen.
What if someone I'm not sure how this would be, but what if someone couldn't get sea salt?
Then find a salt lick and then just go out there.
Salt lick.
Now, if you can't find sea salt, it's because it's really hard to find.
Well, I mean,
Go to the grocery store?
maybe someone is somewhere where they just don't sell that. I'm just reading the question.
Okay, you can find sea salt
Just about
anywhere.
anywhere.
If you can't find, go to the Dead Sea, go to the ocean, drink some seawater.
No, don't do that.
I mean, that's a plan B.
Go
you
right to
absolutely
plan
cannot find-
C. Just
Right.
okay. Now, I'm dying to know the answer to this question. Can you talk about camel meat?
I think it's a good source of
Do
protein.
you actually know something about camel meat?
Yeah, it's actually camel milk
It's
as well. It's
incredible.
actually really, really healthy for you. So
I
you
am
can't find it
shocked.
in certain areas of the country like
Jersey.
Minnesota, but if you're in the Middle
Where-
East, you can find it.
Where can you find camel meat in the
You need to
United
fly
States?
to the Middle East to find high quality camel meat.
I was
Make
sure
sure
you
it's
were going to
grass
say.
fed.
I was. I was sure you were going to say. I have nothing to say about that. But of course, Dr. Berg, you knew something about camel meat, and you had something to say about it.
I'm
and
interested in
that's
it, yeah, I'm
amazing
totally interested
to me.
in it.
I love it. Okay, you know something about this too, and so do I. What about hand and foot skin that peels?
This is a B vitamin deficiency, B vitamins. So there's a lot of skin problems that happen when you have B vitamin deficiencies, especially vitamin B2 or B3, which is pellagra, and your skin starts having all sorts of issues. One note on this, Karen, if you have like cracks on your heels, for example, that's a B2 deficiency. If you have even acne around your mouth, okay, that can be fluoride in the water you're drinking. So there's a condition called halogen acne. Also, there's one called fluorodermal, I think acne, where you're basically consuming too much fluoride. And here you are like thinking it's helping you, but it's actually creating more skin issues. I think I released a video on that today. So you want to get a water filter that pulls out fluoride, and I actually recommend one, which it's by Crystal, some company. I'll just go to my YouTube video and check it out. Someone says, what supplements can you take for omegas? Do I sell any? I currently am not selling any omega-3 fatty acids. I am getting one soon, but the problem is I wanted a very high quality cod liver oil that didn't go rancid, that was in a powder. Here's the problem. All the powders they spray them with maltodextrin or other things that I don't want in them. So I did find a company that is working on another formula. It's not out yet, but they'll be able to help me with this. So I'm working on that now. But in the meantime, I would go to Amazon and get a virgin cod liver oil and start taking that. High quality. I mean, it's really good. I mean, cod liver oil is so important, especially for growing kids, pregnant women that are breastfeeding. The size of the brain of the child is influenced by that. And one thing that's really, I think, an interesting topic, Karen, I want to talk about metabolism, what slows your metabolism. There's two big ones, and a big myth is that your metabolism will slow because you're skipping a meal. Some people actually still think that. If I skip a meal, my metabolism will be slower because eating will increase the metabolism. You ever hear that?
No.
Or it is true that low-calorie diets can slow your metabolism, but skipping a meal is different. Skipping a meal is decreasing the frequency of meal, and that is going to increase your improvement in your blood sugars and insulin resistance, which is going to be the biggest factor in improving your metabolism. But there's one more thing, Karen, which a lot of people can't do anything about necessarily because you would have to pick your parents more wisely. But if the mother who is pregnant with you consumes a lot of carbohydrates and then develops insulin resistance and diabetes, the chances of you getting diabetes go up dramatically. The chances of you having weight problems go up, and a lot of health problems. So the reason I'm saying this is if you know someone who's pregnant, okay, get them to watch some of the videos that we're doing, because it's the future health of that child is dependent on what that mother eats. Very, very important. Stay tuned for more information on that. Okay,
You didn't give your
ferritin. Someone asked about ferritin levels.
Okay.
Okay, someone's asking about ferritin levels, which relate to iron. It's very, very dangerous to have too much iron. It's very dangerous to have not enough iron. You need just the right amount. The problem with iron, Karen,
Yeah.
is that our bodies can't get rid of it easily, especially if you're a guy and you don't menstruate, or you're basically beyond menstruating, and you don't.
Why do you look at me when you say that?
I was looking over there at the floor.
Now, someone just asked if your wife was pregnant. Is your wife pregnant?
Well, no. But that would be very rude to say to someone.
It sure would.
So here's the thing about iron, though. If you're drinking water that it's heavy with iron, or are cooking in iron pots and pans, or taking supplements with iron, or doing a lot of red meat, and you have an excess of iron, you can end up with Alzheimer's, cancer, a lot of other issues, in which case you're going to have to chelate or pull this iron out, especially if you're a guy that you can't get rid of it easily. So I have done videos on this. There's a great chelator you can do. But first, immediately get rid of the iron supplements that you're taking and learn about what foods are low in iron. But you can do, it's called EDTA. It's a chelator that helps pull iron out. But yeah, you want to get rid of the iron, and then also do periodic donation of your blood to actually reduce that iron level. And you'll actually feel so much better. Iron is very, very toxic in large amounts. Okay?
Okay.
I want to mention about the summit coming up.
Oh, good idea.
Okay. Guys, there's a couple reasons why you need to come to the summit. One is that the speakers are going to blow you away. We have the top experts in keto and IF both together. And I want to just kind of go down the list to tell you who's coming, because I think you'd be interested to come out and just be in this environment. You're going to meet a lot of friends, but like-minded people. But Dr. McCullough's coming, and he's going to be talking about some really cutting-edge new stuff. He's one of the top guys in health, and you get to meet him if you come. Also, Dr. Westman, who is a medical doctor. He's down at Duke in North Carolina. He's like the keto researcher. He's in clinic. He uses keto as his primary mode of therapy to all of his patients. He's coming. It's awesome. Jackie Eberstein, she worked with Dr. Atkins, and so did Dr. Westman as well, by the way, did the research for him. But Jackie Eberstein, she was like a clinical director of his clinics, I think. I have not the right title, but anyway, she's been around keto probably longer than anyone that I know. She's really knowledgeable. She's gives a lot of practical information. She's coming. She was voted the best, one of the best speakers last year, so we're inviting her back. So you want to stay tuned for that.
She was great.
2 cardiologists who are low-carb, keto-friendly experts, but these guys do surgery on hearts. I mean, you need this data, because if you're concerned about cholesterol or doing it right, they're going to speak. Dr. Nadir and also Dr. Schur, Brett Schur is coming. Both of them are really knowledgeable in this, so you'll get to meet them as well. He's a professor, Ben Bickman's coming. He does research at Brigham Young, and he has his own lab, and they study the cause of insulin resistance. Fascinating guy, great research. I mean, you're gonna love it. Another one that's coming is Nadia Pataguano. Okay, is coming. She's a naturopathic doctor. She's coming. She works with Jason Fung, who is a medical doctor, and she's going to be talking about fertility, PCOS, and fasting. And so is Megan Ramos, who also works for Jason Fung in their clinic. She's going to be talking about fasting, intermittent fasting. You don't want to miss that. And of course, Ivor Cummins is going to come. He is an engineer. He's going to be talking about insulin and cholesterol and a lot of hot topics. He's really funny.
Yeah,
And he's a great
really
guy.
funny.
And we always enjoy him. But these are just, speakers are coming.
And Dr. Berg.
I'll be there. So, yeah. And then we have some sponsors, Keto Mojo, US Wellness Meats. And we actually, and just so you guys know, we don't get any kickbacks or anything from these guys, but the point is that we endorse them because we like them, and we invite them to the summit.
Right.
But US Wellness Meats is coming, Kibosh is coming,
Pretty sure they're coming.
and Cocoa Perfection is coming,
Mm-hmm. Chocolate Perfection.
and Love Good Fats is coming. Bragg's, you know about Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and Select Savory Seasonings will be there. Redmond Real Salt. It's not fake salt.
It's real salt. They're going to be there, and there's another 6 on the lineup. So it's going to be a lot more. This year there was just a small number of exhibitors, and this year there's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a bit more like a keto fair.
What's the date?
It's August 31st and September 1st in the Gaylord Hotel. It's called National Harbor, Maryland, but it's really right across the river from DC and Old Town Alexandria. And I noticed, I'll tell you, we have a room block with an amazing rate at the Gaylord.
Yeah,
it is filling up really fast.
we're going to run out pretty fast.
We actually got an additional block of rooms, but we are running out of these rooms really fast. Now, there are other hotels in the area, like right across the street, but I can't guarantee that there's anything available. It's a holiday weekend. A lot of people are coming for 4 or 5 days, enjoying the holiday.
Yeah, how can you find out about it? I would go to drberg.com. There's a link right at the top of the page, and then register within a couple days because you don't want to miss out on the room.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to mention is
I wanted to mention too, sorry to cut you, but I wanted to mention that there are 3 different tiers, and we're almost sold out of the platinum. I think we might have 2 seats left. So if you wanted that, do it today. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so stay tuned. We'll be doing more videos on that, but it's something that I think that if you want to master keto, you need to come out. Let's go through some questions. These questions are stacking up here.
They are stacking up, and I did want to say, someone was saying they were on the phone for a half hour. Should they hang up? I think at this point,
unfortunately,
I would say yes, because our entire facility lost its internet, and that's why we're using telephones right now. We didn't want to just not do this with you guys, but the phone line, sorry about that.
The first time it happened, unfortunately.
It's the first time.
This is a problem. Someone asked about Accutane. That was basically banned, and it's one of those drugs where they thought it's safe. Then years later,
Whoops. Nope.
It's not safe. So synthetic vitamin A. Watch my videos on acne. I have a lot of them. Do that instead.
All right. And thank you, baby girl. I appreciate the compliment.
Oh, it's not banned?
Emma, it's not banned?
You got to be kidding me.
Okay, so we got some false data there. That's why you always think for yourself, do your own research.
Oh, I completely and utterly wanted to add one more speaker. Logan Sneed is also going to be there.
Oh, that's right. We just added
We actually got him
Logan.
in. We rearranged some things. We got him in, so he's going to be speaking on his experience with brain cancer. So you definitely want to come out to check that out as well. He has a pretty good following, so I think you're going to enjoy his talk quite well.
Okay, I have two interesting questions. Is alcohol good for an acid or a low acid stomach? Alcohol.
It's good if you want to drown your sorrows. No. You don't want to be drinking alcohol to change your pH. Because, just take any of the imbalances with nutrients, micronutrients. It's like alcohol is the top of the list. It sucks nutrition out. It causes the liver to work harder. Wow, you're right. Thomas DeLauer is coming. What? I don't know, for some reason, I thought I mentioned him. But yeah, Thomas DeLauer is going to be there as well.
And the names just keep on coming.
I thank you guys for keeping me in check here because, Thomas DeLauer is going to be there. You're going to meet him. He's going to talk on all sorts of really cool things related to fitness.
Keto.
Yeah, so yes. So,
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe
Who else did you miss here?
You know what? I screwed up on that.
You know, that's what we love about Dr. Berg.
I might be screwing up on a couple more people that I didn't
And the
mention.
exhibitors, I requested a list beforehand because they're more getting added and getting paid every day. So, Thomas, if you're watching, sorry. Logan, sorry. Did we mention everybody else?
As far as I
not
know,
confident now.
as far as I know.
Okay. Do you want to do that one?
What? I didn't see it.
This one right here.
Why do SSRIs cause weight gain? Well, because what they do to your hormones and how they influence insulin, they actually increase your risk of insulin resistance. Okay, so that's why, and that is the problem. You know, if you do keto and IF, you're going to find that your mood is going to change. It's going to be a lot better because your brain is finally getting fed and you're absorbing more of the amino acids into your brain, which can then make the neurotransmitters, which is going to help your mood big time.
Okay, good. So I just want to say too, a lot of you guys, we get a lot of questions that are specific medical questions.
Oh, right.
They're asking about medical diagnoses, asking about medicine, treatments, things like that. That's not what we do. That's not our realm, and you'll never hear us telling you what to do medically for any medical condition. If there's ways that some kind of nutrition can support a body or help heal certain things in terms of growing healthy tissue, whatever, but we're probably not even going to take your questions if they are asking, how do you treat a medical condition? It's just not.
And that question is really related to someone new because most people we've
Most of
kind
you guys know
talked
that,
about
but
this over
just
and
in
over and
case
over
you're
again.
new and you're thinking we're ignoring you, and by the way, almost all of the questions, actually 100% of the questions today are from YouTube. So if you think you're not getting the shout out,
Well,
it's all
Facebook, I'm just not going through them.
Facebook. Well, you're not. You're only getting who's watching on Facebook. You're not getting the questions.
No, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the
thanks
thing,
for
guys.
coping.
So if
here,
you guys
but-
have a medical question, this is what I would recommend. Implement the basics of healthy keto and IF, intermittent fasting first. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that a lot of your symptoms are not going to be there. You're going to avoid them. It's just amazing how I know some of you are saying, oh, it just sounds too simple. But I'm telling you, the things that are powerful are simple.
Mhm.
Things that are complex usually are not true. And
Donna
this is
just
something,
said food is medicine. Well,
it's
there's
yeah,
a
you can
valid
look at it
point
like
there,
you can
right?
look
You
at it
can-
like that. And what's happening is like there's just not this emphasis on foods. And even let's take, for example, arrhythmias, okay? Your heart starts skipping, you get palpitations, or it speeds up, and you have all these arrhythmic problems. And so you have this huge textbooks, and I buy them on arrhythmias and heart problems. And you're like, it gets so complex, and people get on medication and they're on it for the rest of their life. But I'm like, wait a second. Where is the research that talks about why you get them in the first place? And in relating to food and electrolytes, the pacemaker of the heart, it's basically little bundles of these little cells that are on a rhythm, need electrolytes. But no one's talking about getting electrolytes from your diet. And how do you get that? Salad, vegetables, things like that. They're not emphasizing that. So, and of course, a lot of the medications and things will deplete the electrolytes, and so will stimulants and like coffee and recreational drugs and refined foods pull out these electrolytes. So if you just start with the food, you can solve a lot of issues, prevent and avoid a lot of issues.
Mhm.
Okay?
I said Donna. I think it's Deanna. Sorry, Deanna. It's like a 2 font on this phone. Oh, they said, I think you have your comments turned off on Facebook.
Oh,
It could be.
I think you're right.
It could be
I think
we
you're right.
really did this on the fly. We just didn't want you guys sitting and waiting anymore. Sorry about that. Next week, we'll be back in business, I hope. Let's see. Okay, well, there was a question here. I gain all of my weight in my belly. Why is that?
Okay, you may be new to the channel because you're going to actually gain weight in the midsection mainly from two things. One is high levels of insulin because you're eating too many carbs, or high levels of cortisol, which then turns into insulin or actually increases insulin. And that's the stress. So stress and carbs, that's what happens. But let's say, for example, you get on keto and IF and you lose weight, but not in your stomach. And you really need to target the stomach. Some people have such a fatty liver and it's spilling over into the belly that they have to first use up all the fat in their liver and actually handle the liver issue before your body starts even tapping into the belly fat. And so that takes time. But there's one thing you can do if you want to know to speed up the process if you want a flat belly. And we're going to cover that at the
later in the show.
Advanced seminar next month after I have the time. And I'm just being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what you do, guys. Really simple.
Okay.
It's called OMAD every other day. You eat one meal a day every other day. I don't recommend jumping into it overnight, but just gradually do it and just don't eat if you're not hungry. What's going to happen is you're going to go, wow, I'm not hungry. And then you're going to be ready for the meal. I'm like, no, just keep going. Keep going longer and longer and longer until the point where you're eating every other day. That is hands down the fastest way to get your stomach flat if you have some weight to lose. Now, the problem with me is I don't want to lose any more weight. So I have to consume at least 2 meals or one massive large meal, which is really hard to consume 3,000 calories in one meal. So what I'll do is I'll have a kind of like within a maybe 3-4 hour window. I'm trying to go 3, maybe even 2, and just trying to eat all my calories in that period of time. But I'm just bragging.
You're bragging. You're just bragging.
I am.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
So there's a student of nutrition that asked, what book would you recommend they read? If you could have one. I mean, you should see our house. It's just filled with physiology and medical books and nutrition books. But if there was one.
Well, of course, I'm assuming you have my book just on basic foods. I am creating a course on nutrition and vitamins, but as far as books on nutrition, let me think about this. The problem is there's not one book. There's, like, for example, I buy textbooks on zinc or on DHA or one nutrient, and they're by different authors, but they're just, I mean, I would highly recommend them. They're like $200 though. That's the problem. But to have
you can rent them.
Oh yeah, you can rent them for like a few days for $30. But I'll work on that. I'll get a reference list. But there are some books out there from some really top guys that have great data to share. But right now I'm reading several books. One is on malabsorption, and it's just fascinating because it gets into the parts of your digestive system that absorb very specific nutrients, and if you have damage for this, what you're going to be deficient in. That's the topic. One of the topics I'm going to be talking about at the summit. So you want to come to that in relationship to keto and IF and how to maximize your absorption of nutrients through your gut and why we have problems with all the fiber. So it's going to be a very interesting talk. The problem with that talk is I really want to do videos on this topic, but I'm withholding myself because I want to save it for the summit. And it's like I can't really talk about it even though I want to.
Okay, so that was great. And I think it would be cool if periodically you just brought the book on that you were really into, like you were reading and really into.
I should have to you.
I know. I mean, really, because your day is filled with ordering research studies, researching research studies, digging into the books. And I think, with the purpose of having these guys understand more, some will be interested in reading that kind of stuff. Most probably
you
not,
have to have the discipline or the interest.
Make sure you define all your complex words.
You have to have the interest or the discipline to basically dig in and focus on one topic over a period of time to really get all this data. And I think if someone has ADD or something, or they can't understand the language, or they're not looking up their words, they're going to basically not continue. So one thing I'm really doing is I emphasize, as I go through, I'm trying to understand everything and not to keep going if I don't understand something.
Right.
Yeah.
Good medical dictionary.
Oh, lots.
Oh, it's afternoon. See, we're in like this wormhole where we don't really know what time it is. But I wanted to give away a VIP ticket to the summit. So we have to do that really quick.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to know, since we have YouTube, it's for YouTube guys, if you can, or you can make it go right to come to the summit, and you would come if you got a VIP ticket. State yes, your name and where you would be coming from, and then I'm gonna pick one, and then really quick, go.
We'll do the one for Facebook maybe later today or tomorrow.
We can do
But
it.
no, I can't. I can't.
I mean,
it.
next week we can do it.
Yeah. So don't feel like you're missing out.
Right. Well, we're gonna do this every week until. Okay, here's one.
So don't pick it yet because they're all. But just let them do that for like a minute or so, and I'm gonna talk about some other topics.
Because it's past noon, but.
Well, we started late.
That's fine with me.
All right. So let's see here. What can I talk about?
Why don't you talk about Charley Horses?
Yeah. Okay.
Someone else.
Cramping. I think I've actually have a video on this, but the cramping. Okay, so let me start over again. All right, so the cramping, or versions of cramping, which is called tetany or twitching, like that, or you might have in your arm. It's little sound effects there. Really come from an imbalance of electrolytes. It's not just one electrolyte though. It could be magnesium, it could be calcium, it could be sodium, it could be potassium. So it could also be a problem with your pH is too alkaline because your stress is too high or you're eating too much sugar. In which case you would want to do apple cider vinegar. So what I like to do if someone is cramping is the first thing I'm saying is, okay, so I don't know what electrolyte you're deficient in, so let me just kind of reverse the question and say, what did you eat? What have you been eating the last week? And just find out, do they have a problem with hidden sugars? Are they eating not enough vegetables? Are they eating low magnesium foods? Are they eating low potassium foods? Are they taking medication, pulling out this stuff? Are they on an antacid? Are they on a diuretic? I want to find out what could be causing electrolyte imbalance. And then I'll ask them other symptoms for if their pH is off. And then what I'll do, and then I can actually tell them what's going on. But it's hard to evaluate someone, Karen, if you don't have all the data. Mm-hmm. So someone says, oh, I can't lose weight. Well, okay, I need to know a little more about that. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
Okay, good.
What do we got?
So, well, first of all, there's a plea here to answer. I think it's Rohini from India. He's been asking a question. How do you do keto for Indians if there is no kale available?
You don't have to do kale.
You don't have to do kale.
You can do other vegetables.
Any other green.
You guys have a lot of vegetables. So I know in India, I know you guys eat a lot of cooked foods. I know there's a lot of sugar. And why do I know that? Because you have a very high rate of getting diabetes. Mm-hmm. I honestly do want to go to India to do a seminar. We want to go there, but we need
kale first. We need
you guys to
grow some kale. No.
Yeah, but we do at some point we are going to be going to India.
The point I think is that there are way more important things for keto and intermittent fasting than just having kale available. It's getting the sugar out. It's getting the other carbohydrates out. It's
just find what's your popular, eat your popular green vegetable.
Right.
Okay, who's going to win?
Okay, so now we went a little bit far here. So let me just dig one up. I have...
Mary Oberstein is watching. Hey, Mary.
Mary? Holy cow, Mary. How you doing? That's cool. Okay, let me pick a winner. I'm sorry, because we got on, you started talking on other things and everyone just started commenting. I'm in this tiny phone here. But I have someone. I have her part of her name, so I'm going to find the rest of it. Can you say something interesting while I'm finding this?
I have nothing else to say. I have no more data. I've
okay,
exhausted my
right
data
here.
reserves. And I can talk.
Here it is. Okay.
Go ahead.
Carla Beck from Peoria, Arizona. You are the
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane, Carla Beck. Carla, congratulations. And what I want you to do is I want you to email Maria at drberg@drberg.com. G.I. Jane, yes. Okay, awesome. So we'll see you at the summit. I'm going to tell Maria that you get the ticket. Email drberg@drberg.com, and she's going to verify you, and we will see you there. And every week we're going to be giving away some tickets. So.
Hey, guess what? Now the comments are starting to come
now the
in.
comments are coming in on Facebook. This is terrible. All right. So you guys, thanks for hanging in there with us. And
yeah, we're going to find out what's happening with this
next
internet thing.
next week, it's going to be back to normal. And
I
we'll
feel real
see
bad
then.
about all these questions people had.
I
that
know, all the
called in.
callers.
So if you want to, I tell you what, if you found this, ask the questions below, and today I'll go through. I'll try to answer some of the questions below. Okay.
Yeah.
I know we get like 3,000. I
There's
can't
thousands of
promise I get all of
questions,
them, but I'll
but-
try to answer a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week. And we really hope to see you at the summit
Yeah.
coming up in about a month and a half.
So close now.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out with us and all our technical difficulties. We'll see you next week.
Okay, see ya.
Okay. Bye.